What's up everybody, it's me Steve, and on today's show we're going to take a look at the Canon 1D Classic. This is Canon's original flagship DSLR, which was released back in November of 2001. It boasts a huge 4.15 megapixel sensor and a fully weather-sealed magnesium alloy body. Now at the time of this camera's release, it costs around $5,000. You can find one on eBay nowadays for under $200. So how does a camera like this fare in the modern world? Let's take a look. The build quality of this camera is excellent, weighing in at a sturdy 3.5 pounds. This camera uses a series of buttons in lieu of a traditional mode dial. For example, the ISO can be set by holding down the AF button and the ISO button simultaneously while turning the scroll wheel. And likewise, the drive is set by holding down the mode button and the ISO button while holding the scroll wheel. Now here's where this camera gets frustrating. Everything is a two-handed operation. For example, to get to what you're looking for in the menu, you have to hold down the select button while simultaneously turning the scroll wheel. Likewise, if you'd like to page through the menu settings, you have to hold down the menu button while turning the scroll wheel. Even for something as simple as viewing the pictures, you have to click the display button and then hold down the select button while turning the scroll wheel. And likewise, for deleting a picture, you have to hold down delete while turning the scroll wheel. The LCD on this camera is small and low resolution by modern standards. If you're a newer photographer, you might be put off by this. However, if you're like me and you grew up shooting film, you probably won't mind. On the other hand, this camera has more modern features, like a 45-point autofocus system and a burst rate of 8 frames per second. The Canon 1D uses a CCD sensor, unlike most modern cameras which use a CMOS sensor. Shot wide open, the 1D produces soft highlights and pleasing blue tones that have an almost filmic look. The 1D creates images that are almost hauntingly beautiful. Compared to a more modern camera like the Sony a6000 we shot this video on, the a6000 clearly has better dynamic range, punchier colors, and is infinitely sharper. But having said that, the 1D has something that you won't find on a spec sheet. And that's soul.
So is the 1D still relevant? Well, sometimes I know old technology doesn't make sense in the modern world. For example, you can't really compare a Ford Model T to a modern sports car. I mean, technically they're both cars, but I wouldn't really want to drive a Model T 100 miles an hour down the freeway. The Canon 1D is actually more like comparing a classic supercar to a modern sports car. It may not have all the bells and whistles that you're used to, but it definitely performs. Anyway, that's it for today's show, guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you again in the next episode.